Welcome back to the program, the Value Biz on Salvation TV. Straight up to the papers this morning. We'll begin with The Nation. And the first headline here says, Federal government cuts 2020 budget by 318 billion naira. Federal government cuts 2020 budget by 318 billion naira. Let's read another story. It says, retains assembly vote. Retains assembly vote. Some more of that story on page 25 of The Nation this morning.
Okay, so moving on, the next one says court sends Naira Marley and PDP chief to 14-day isolation. Court sends Naira Marley, PDP chief to 14-day isolation. Okay, I think this is like almost every day we get to hear stories about this particular event. I think Funke Akindele, the comedian and an actress, celebrated her husband's birthday, and despite the lockdown order, she still had so many persons in attendance in the party, and she was arrested, and they were asked to pay a fine of 100,000, right?
Yes.
And then 14-day community service. And Naira Marley and the PDP chief was also arrested, and they were released yesterday. But now today's Nation News is telling us that he is given 14-day isolation. So hopefully people get to learn that when the government gives rules and regulations, you follow.
Okay.
Okay, and don't forget, it is the Value Biz, and it is 100% interactive. So please do well to call the numbers displayed on your television screen this morning. Comment on any headline. Give us your view, your opinion. They are highly welcome. So please do call us and comment on any of the headlines that we'll be reading out to you in the course of the show.
Okay, to the next headline here, it says, Army takes delivery of $152 million armored tanks. Army takes delivery of $152 million armored tanks. And there's a rather under that story, military trucks from China. More of that story on page 29 of The Nation this morning.
Okay, and moving on to The Nation, its one says 8 die in Kwara accident. 8 die in Kwara accident, and under government okays Easter Sunday worship.
Yeah, good news.
Good news,
right.
indeed.
Yes, amid the coronavirus, we'll have to still celebrate Easter.
Yeah, the resurrection of our God. So
Good
more
one.
of that story on page 28 on the Nation newspaper this morning.
And to the lead story on The Nation newspaper this morning, which has generated controversy in course of the week, COVID-19. Chinese doctors sent on 14 days isolation. Chinese doctors sent on 14 days isolation. And as you read another story, Minister Hale's team, envoy, while we are here, they mustn't treat patients, say NMA and NARD. And of course, there's a picture under that story of the IT guy display, that of the doctors. 15 Chinese doctors arrived yesterday. Of course, they were received by the Minister of Health, that is Dr. Osage Henry, yesterday.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
But some persons are saying that what's the need of this person, these Chinese doctors coming to the nation?
To help train the personnel, right?
Yes, that's what the federal government is saying.
That's what it said.
But the PDP and some Nigerians are saying if the situation worsens, they will blame the federal government.
Some people even specifically said they will blame Buhari if this worsens. So
what's your take on all of this? Do you think that the arrival of Chinese doctors, 15 of them, is a welcome development? Or you think that the reason for their arrival is really not concrete, is really not okay, considering the fact that COVID-19 emanated from China? But to some extent, China seemed to have defeated COVID-19. And the federal government are saying, let these doctors come into the nation and help train a manpower to defeat COVID-19 in Nigeria. What's your take on this particular one? Call that number displayed on your screen right now. Do us a message, if you can, via that same number. So take the next headline.
Okay, this one says, federal government Rivers locked in showdown over pilots, and federal government Rivers locked in showdown over pilots.
Yes, this story, trust me, it's very, very, very strong. Okay, we'll
shortly
we'll have the video of the governor of Rivers State, where he reacted to the activity of the Caverton Hotel, Caverton helicopters, basically. And of course, he did say that they have placed a persona non grata. I hope I got that jargon right.
Non grata.
Okay. Hope I got it right. Anyway, so shortly we'll get the video of the governor of Rivers State when he reacted to the action of that Caverton helicopters. Have a look.
Let me reiterate that for us, COVID-19 in River State is a matter of life and death, and we will never succumb to any blackmail from any person, institution, or authority in our determination to protect our citizens and our state from the spread of this deadly virus. Since we triggered the law on Caverton helicopters, we have seen and read all sorts of hilarious and frivolous comments, particularly on social media, questioning the propriety of our actions against the carrier and its passengers. At this time and under the present situation, nothing, I repeat, nothing is more important to us than to safeguard the lives and well-being of our citizens no matter the cost, and we shall spare no efforts to achieve the singular most important fundamental objective of our government.
Okay, you've heard it from the horse's mouth, they say. That's the executive governor of River State. Here's some Ezemo Wike talking yesterday. He sounded a bit angry.
Yeah,
and of course, yes.
he sounded,
and of course,
he sounded angry.
You know, but one would think that as the governor of River State, your top priority is protection of lives and properties. And you all know what he's done so far in curtailing the spread of the virus.
He took strict measures so that it doesn't worsen, and he actually helps River State. Who knows, it would have been more than one case ever since. And I heard the case is negative now, so I think they should erase the one now from River State. Anybody do the record?
But there's another story to this particular story, where the Minister for Aviation did come out to say that such matters are the exclusive list. As a matter of fact, number 3 on the exclusive list, and the state government do not have the power or whatsoever to carry out such sanctions. But that's like the legal perspective. Of course, in previous subsequent shows, we'll have people talk about it. But looking at it on a very neutral scale, one would say that the governor is trying to curtail the spread of the virus in River State. So he placed a restriction on entry. No one comes into the country state.
And
no one lives.
Being followed.
Okay, so one would understand that, hey, look at what's happening to Lagos at the moment. Highest heat in the nation.
And then people still flaunt the orders. He wouldn't. True. And that was why he gave these orders. Don't allow, close the borders, air, water, road, close all of the borders. And then some people still go and default. What do you expect? You face the consequences, and that's what he did.
Okay, but federal government saying that they gave Caverton helicopters the approval to do that, to fly into the state. But we'll see what happens as...
Let's see.
Yes, we'll see what happens as events keep unfolding, because the 2 pilots, they've been remanded in prison until trial commences. That's May 19.
May 19.
So we'll keep you updated on the developments regarding that one.
Sure, we will.
So let's keep to the next...
Okay, no, moving on to the next. I think this is inside the nation. Odd stories. It says 22 new cases tally to 276. Another patient dies in Lagos, and Catholic Church releases hospitals. 67 Cote d'Ivoire returnees confined, and Ondo puts 11 in isolation. 14 jailed in Osun for defiant. And NDIC donate 1 billion naira to fund coronavirus not a scam, says government.
Really?
Panic in Kogi over doctor's death, and visitors to Kaduna for isolation. 938 die in Britain in one day. That is too much, and that's actually scary. Okay, finally, the last headline says fire at Accountant General's office, and gunmen abduct doctor in Ekiti State.
Yeah, talking about the fire at the Accountant General's office, they call it the Treasury House.
Treasury House, they say.
What happened yesterday? There was fire around there. According to eyewitnesses, the cause of the fire outbreak is yet to be known.
Identified.
It's still unknown. So, but we'll let you know in subsequent editions of the show when the official statement is being released as to what happened yesterday. But Nigerians are reacting.
Yeah, obviously. No, go ahead.
No, you wanted to say something.
No, Nigerians are seriously. Nigerians are actually on this matter.
Media,
everyone, like, after there was a request for how they spend this money that has been donated by prominent individuals in our country. People donated a huge amount of money for this whole pandemic and palliatives. all of a sudden, hours where they say, please, we want to know how this money is being spent. That you went ahead telling the public that no Nigeria is hungry, that you spent so billion to feed the nation. And all of a sudden, 9 hours later, the treasurer, the account general's office got burnt. How is that possible? How are we supposed to take it? Majority of Nigerians now take my word. Nigeria is a joke.
Are you going to say
It's
that?
it's
No, no, are
everywhere
you
on
gonna
the
say
gram.
that
It's
now?
everywhere on social media. How is this possible? Please, this is the moment where we need your views and your comments. What do you think about this thing? Moment after they said we want to know how this money is that was donated was spent, and all of a sudden the accountant general's office got burned. What do you think about the
No,
story, Kenneth?
I will say something.
Okay, I need you to say
What PDP
something.
said in our official statement yesterday, that they want a thorough investigation to what really happened, because it's raising
Sure.
eyebrow on what really happened
A
in that
thorough
office.
investigation should
Because that's like a treasury house, and of course looking at
it should be the safest.
yes, the donation to fight the
All
pandemic.
of a sudden, and just that flaw alone.
It might be accidental.
Oh,
You never
really?
can tell.
We need investigation,
So,
seriously.
so
We
what
need
do you think
to-
about all of this? What is your
Exactly.
reaction, though? Of course, your contribution on this particular one. What's your take on this fire outbreak at the Accountant General of the Federation's office yesterday? Okay, after some persons were saying, let us know how this money's the donations
Was
for the fight
spent.
against COVID-19,
Give
and
us an
now there's fire
accountable.
there. What's your take on all of this? Call that number that's putting on your screen right now and tell us what you feel about this particular one.
Okay,
And now
so
let's
quickly.
travel to this
Exactly.
day.
Today's day.
And the first one that says, federal government proposes to slash 2020 budget by 312 billion naira. Okay, 312.8 billion naira. That is this day newspaper this morning. 312.8 billion naira. And there's another story. You take it. Lawan calls for equity in distribution of stimulus. Presidency dismisses claims of 2 trillion naira expenditure on NSIP and SIP. Came of that story on page 4 of this day. Oh, page 9, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, page 9.
Of this day newspaper this morning.
Okay, so quickly moving on. This one says discuss plan to month free electricity for Nigerians.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be actually amazing.
Yesterday, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Phoebe Bajabamila, he did say that they should waive electricity, federal government should waive electricity tariffs for 2 months, for
that's
Nigerians.
July.
Yes, but looking at it, that would be fair.
It will be fair enough.
Fair. Looking at the lockdown and
That's
stay
if
at home
everyone
order.
gets this. If it gets to every nook and cranny of the country, not just the places that they feel, but if it gets to every nook and cranny. What I'm always concerned about, the poorest Nigerians.
The common man.
Yes, the common man. Don't just give it to the normal people who can even do without it. Some people that can afford listers, that can afford inventors and the rest of it. Hope that this thing gets to the poorest people that don't even know what it means to have light. So that would be fair enough if it gets to them.
But the question is, in wake of the fact that some persons are saying that's the NERC are saying that the proposed hike of electricity tariff will be in 3 months, July, and of course they actually extended the hike because of the pandemic.
Because of the pandemic.
Would you think that they will want to sacrifice 2 months before the increase? These are the issues surrounding this particular one, okay? Well, let's take the next headline on this day, and it says, positioning Nigeria as reliable supplier, Medicare sees beyond current crisis. Positioning Nigeria as reliable supplier, Mele Kyari sees beyond current crisis. Says pandemic forces demand down by 6.8 million barrels. Okay, get more on that story on page 10 of this day newspaper this morning.
Okay, and moving on to the lead story here under this day newspaper, it says NMA adamant says won't collaborate with visiting Chinese doctors.
Are you serious?
NMA adamant says won't collaborate with visiting Chinese doctors. There are riders under there that says 15-member medical team arrives Abuja from China. Cases rise by 22 to 276. Tested samples now 5,000. And 66-year-old Britain dies in Lagos, and U.S. evacuates another 281. 200 Nigerians request evacuation from U.S. and the federal government urges governors not to issue another directive on pandemic, and fault Wike condemns arrest of Caverton helicopter's pilot.
And of course, to the next headline there, no official records lost to Treasury House fire, says federal government. This is interesting. Amidst the fire outbreak, the federal government have released an official statement. That's according to this morning, saying no official records was lost. That means the records,
Yeah,
and
they're
just are
safe.
scared of. They're safe.
Oh, better.
Let's hope that we get to see transparency and accountability.
Thank you. That's all.
That's the word.
So they don't go on later and say, "Oh no, this record is missing. We're sorry. We misinformed you guys." I just hope that everything gets to be accounted for.
Okay.
That's it. But more of that story on page 8 on this day newspaper this morning.
And to the Guardian newspaper this morning, the first story, as a matter of fact, the lead story there says PDP Labour protest as Chinese doctors arrive. PDP Labour protest as Chinese doctors arrive. And there's a rider under the story. The riders, beg your pardon. Federal government warns against unauthorized treatment of COVID-19 patients. Minister, aviation workers flee arrest of pilots by VK. That's coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning.
Okay, and more of that on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper. Okay, so this one says, obviously still on the Guardian, we have pictures of the 50 medical team.
Yeah,
that,
Chinese doctors.
That came
Right.
into Nigeria
Yeah,
yesterday, and
50 of them.
Yes, and hopefully that they are going to be quarantined, self-isolate themselves for this 14 days. I even believe there should be more. And please, they
Are you
should.
kidding me right now?
Yes, but let's hope for the best. Let's be positive. Yes, let's be positive. It can nothing bad will happen again.
But the question is, NMA, that's the Nigerian Medical Association, they seem not to be okay with this, and
No,
they
they're
seem not to
adamant.
want to collaborate with these foreign doctors. So how are they supposed to work together?
That's the problem.
So I don't know. Maybe the federal government would have first,
Talk to them,
to them
have a
first.
mutual understanding
There
and
should be- yes,
agreement
you're right.
before bringing, because it feels like their views and opinions don't count. So why are they there? People should learn to respect people's profession sometimes, and that's what our country don't do. You should maybe have a roundtable discussion with them, and then tell them, okay, please, we're getting these men to help assist you. Then they won't feel like they don't know what they're doing. Because right now, you bring in some persons to them, you give them a different notion, and they begin. You just imagine what I said, that they are adamant about it, and they are not going to collaborate with these medical Chinese teams. So how are they going to work together if there is no collaboration? That's the problem.
Okay, let's take the next headline here. Pressure on government to probe fire at AGF's offices. Okay, pressure on government to probe fire at AGF's office. And right that's under that story. It says, no sensitive data lost. The minister insists government cuts 312 billion naira off capital projects. That's coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning.
And quickly, our IT persons will display the picture of the building while it was engulfed by fire yesterday. And yeah, I think that's on your screen already. You can see just on the floor of the Accountant General's office, like it was specially sent or something.
No, we are waiting.
Okay, yes, we do. Seriously, we do.
Yes.
We want to know how all of a sudden, after a request to know about funds, how it was spent and how it was accounted for, suddenly
there's
a fire outbreak in in the Treasury House. Please, we await the statement.
We await that.
We await that. Okay, moving on.
Fresh attacks, kill 13 in Benue, Plateau State. That's quite tragic.
Tragic indeed.
Fresh attacks, kill 13 in Plateau and Benue. And Kogi Hospital rejects calls of suspected COVID-19 victim. Game of that story on page 5. And crackdown on
lockdown
violators begins in Lagos.
Interesting. Now,
was it not yesterday?
Yeah, regardless
of the fact that they've actually insisted on lockdown.
Traffic.
Some persons
there was still traffic. No, the one that amazes me was the fact that there was traffic in Lagos. How is it supposed to be when there's a lockdown? Lagos and traffic is just something else. But I am glad that they're now getting this culprit and giving them the punishment that they deserve. Like I saw on the news this morning where people who said they were jogging, about 34 of them were arrested, and then they're going to be facing punishment. So these are laden rules and regulations. You don't just decide on your own that you want to violate them. Always respect rules and regulation. It will help. Yes, I understand that this period of lockdown it's not easy, but you should obey rules and regulation. As a matter of fact, Chinese people are here, so I think you should obey it more now.
I didn't see that coming anyway.
I never expected it
I didn't see
though.
that coming. Okay, court jails 14 persons 2 months each for flouting stay-at-home order in Osun. Court jails 14 persons 2 months of each for flouting stay-at-home order in Osun. Get more of that story on page 7 of The Guardian.
Okay, and moving on quickly to the next newspaper, which is the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun newspaper. The first headline says, Senate wants federal government over stimulus package. Senate wants federal government over stimulus package. And there's a rider under there that says, vows to monitor funds, donations, and other spending. Oh, where some
Yes.
families come out to tell us that none of these things have gotten to them. A majority of these policies has been, taken
Use the
taken
word
by them.
misappropriated.
Exactly.
That's the word for
I'm
it.
trying to be selective right now,
But the thing is, Amaka,
Okay.
in this trying times, we call it trying time because
Yeah,
people
and
are
it will
finding it
pass.
difficult to survive now. And various governments in the world are taking out measures to cushion the effect of the lockdown and the pandemic on its citizens. Nigerian government, of course, looking at various donations by individuals, corporate entities, that have lost the loss of intervention funds, even from the CBN, IMF, and all of that. One would think that the federal government should be, well, I use the word transparent.
Exactly.
Yes, let's know how these monies have been spent.
Accounted
Let's have a feedback mechanism. Let's have more like a very credible data of how these monies have gotten to Nigerians.
And how it has been spent.
For crying out loud, I was in contact with some Nigerians. They said the same way NCDC sends us text
Thank
message.
you. They should give our account numbers to,
Yes,
to
let's
this person
have-
so they can send the monies directly.
Yes.
And it's this is the second time. I got a message yesterday as well. 2 times now. I'm beginning to think I was, having someone said that. I'm beginning to think maybe I'm having a relationship with the NCDC. Are they dating me now? Why would they keep sending me messages like that?
You didn't say that.
Yes, because if they can actually get the numbers of Nigerians to send them messages, yes, we understand that you're trying to give us precautionary measures,
Okay.
stay safe. You should at least get the numbers too and send the monies there. People would appreciate it more.
Because I can remember, of course, there are various states, there's a time for you to go get, food items.
Yes.
And especially as Easter is around
Exactly.
the corner. So person needs money to go get stuff. And so why not you just...
Do it.
Ah,
It would
but-
be
but-
appreciated.
Okay, let's also look at the fact that in some states, FCT and the likes have gotten some,
Yes.
but want it to go round.
Go round.
Go round.
For Christ's sake,
states.
especially River State, he recorded 1 case, and maybe that's why the governor is angry that there shouldn't be politics play in this situation. You don't place a state above another because you feel the state has the more number of cases, then this one that has one should not benefit. No, it should be, no matter how little it is, but it should be, equal. So
Okay.
that's it. Always do the needful at all times.
Okay, the next headline on Daily Sun this morning says, Coronavirus, PTF denies 500 million naira seating allowance.
Okay, they're now deniers now. They're
Seating allowance.
They're
I wonder
puffing
what's
up
for.
already.
Get more of that story on page 7 of Daily Sun. And as Air Peace makes 15-hour direct return flight from Beijing, COVID-19, Chinese doctors arrive Nigeria. That's a talking point in various
Abuja, to be precise.
national dailies, various media outlets this morning.
Okay.
Chinese doctors arrive Abuja. Mask, other medical equipment also arrive. Their presence will have negative impact, says NMA. Really? Afinifere knocks government, Middle Belt Forum. NARD says something wrong. Nothing wrong with their comment. Okay, NARD.
Okay, I think we have a
I have
caller.
a caller.
Let's take that. Oh, sorry, we lost that. Please do well to call back again if you can. And please don't forget, join the conversation and call the numbers displayed on your television screen this morning and comment. The topics are really interesting. So join the conversation and tell us your opinions and your views about what we have in store for you today. Okay?
Okay, so the next headline, Lagos records third death. Okay, police convict 51, impound 13 vehicles in Lagos, 53 in Kaduna. Ondo, Bayelsa relaxed lockdown for Easter. Get more of that story on page 4, 6, 8, and 29. and
the
Daily
Daily
Sun.
Sun. Okay, moving on. This one says NMPC hands off refineries operation management. NMPC hands off refineries operation management. Murph that on page 2 on the Daily Sun this morning.
Okay, concerns as fire guts Treasury House in Abuja. Federal government. Okay, we got a caller.
Let's take it. Hello. Hello. Oh, I sorry, we lost that. So please do well to call back again
Okay,
if you
and
can.
to the next headline. Federal government faults Wiki on pilot arrest, says flight authorized. Federal government faults Wiki on pilot arrest, says flight authorized. Okay, we got a caller. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Okay, I think we lost that
Okay,
too.
we lost
I think
that
that's
one.
and there's an issue with the connection. Please do well to call back again if you can.
Okay, and before that call came in, you can get more of that story on page 27 of Daily Sun this morning. Take the last headline on Daily Sun.
Okay, this one says Lawan Gbajabiamila, Finance Minister, meets proposed 20% reduction in
Okay, we got
capital
a caller. Let's
projects.
take it.
Okay, another call.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Comments on the
Good morning. Please, what's your name? What's your name and where are you
comments
calling
on the
from?
Chinese that arrived.
What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Onyeka.
Calling
I'm
from
calling
where?
from Port Harcourt.
Okay,
Go
welcome.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I want to comment on the Chinese doctor arrived at Nigeria. So what I want to say there is that why is it that federal government is in the head to bring them down? Why US and the Spain and Italy, where they have most cases, they did not even bother to send those people? Does it mean that their doctor is more important than our doctors in Nigeria here?
Okay, just before you go, can I ask you this quick question, please? Now, the federal government is saying that the reason for their arrival is to improve our personnel in Nigeria
To train them.
yes, for training, capacity development.
Listen. If they should improve our personnel in Nigeria, must it be only Nigeria first? There are some countries that have more these cases than Nigeria. This is a way of maybe spending money again while people are still dying in hunger.
So what's your opinion about this?
Even catch up for your people. Then you are just inviting Chinese doctors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
so
much for your contribution.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's, of course, opposing the arrival. But what
Obviously.
do you think about it? You're watching us right now, the arrival of the Chinese doctors. All right?
Do you think it's normal? Do
the
you
last
think
callers
it's...
of opinion that is not necessary. But let's look at it from this perspective, Amaka.
Okay, we got another
got a
call.
caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. What's your name and location?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Visa and I'm calling from Kaduna.
Welcome. How is Kaduna this morning?
Kaduna is fine. What are you doing here?
Okay. Make a
Go
contribution.
ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
You know, concerning the Accountant General Office, in Nigeria, we are very good in acting.
So are you saying what happened yesterday was an act?
Yes.
It was a drama.
It was a drama,
sort of.
indeed.
And what we just watched now is
So go to the point. Go straight to the point. What do you...
us.
Hello, please. Can you kindly walk away from your TV set, please?
Okay, I'm sorry. We have to
We have
let
to
you
let you
go.
go. Thank you.
Please. I'm sorry. We have to let you go so we can hear you clearly. Please, when next you call, make sure that you stay out of your TV or reduce the volume of your television set so we can hear you clearly.
Okay, we got a call again. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Justin Moses.
Where are you calling from?
Please, I come to find out that the program you guys are doing, we don't understand anything because since last night till now, we cannot hear the volume. There's no volume in the television. So
Okay,
we
this
don't.
is not the. Thank you for your contribution, but this is not the platform to comment. Thank you very much, but this is not the platform. Call the number
Okay.
or send a text message, but this is just strictly for newspaper review. We appreciate your content. We'll get back to you.
Okay, the technical guys will fix that particular one. Okay.
And you will be resolved. Thank you for your.
Okay, to the next headline on Daily Sun this morning. Lawan Bajabiamila, Finance Minister, meets proposed 20% reduction in capital project. Came out of that story on page 27 of Daily Sun this morning.
Okay, until moving on to the Daily Times paper this morning. The first one says, fuel subsidy removal will benefit all Nigerians, says Kiari. Fuel subsidy removal will benefit all Nigerians, says Kiari. There's a writer that says NNPC will no longer run refineries. NNPC will no
Daily
longer
Times?
run refineries. This is coming from the Daily Times newspaper, and you can get more of that on page 4 on the Daily Times newspaper this morning.
Okay, join the conversation here. Call that number displaying on your screen right now and tell us what you feel about it. Now, the subsidy removal, during the then Goodluck Jonathan's government, when he did call for the removal of subsidy, some persons that were protest, hey, you want to inflict sufferings on Nigerians, you want to kill people, you want people to suffer.
Your plan will work.
But now, how come the subsidy, it's being looked at again?
That's it.
That's the question I'm asking. Okay, before now, they were called from the former president. Let's take away this subsidy, and the money spent on subsidy, use it to do other things. And some person said no.
They don't want it.
And now, this present
now
administration is coming up with it, and some persons are okay with
rejected
it.
stone is not the chief
Okay.
cornerstone. Okay, so quickly moving on to the next headline. The lead story, it says infection spreading fast in rural communities. Infection spreading fast in rural communities, says federal government. And on the riders under that says tax healthcare workers to be on alert for upsurge and cautions Nigerians against giving false information to healthcare workers. More of these on page 2 on the Daily Times this morning.
And to the next headline there, Oshun doles out 6,020 bags of rice to residents. It's just around the corner, and lots of bags of rice to people. That's good. Get more of that story on page 13 of Daily Times.
Okay, and this one says 27 persons quarantined in Niger State. 27 persons quarantined in Niger State. More of these on page 9 on the Daily Times this morning.
NCOs restrict visit to correctional centers in Enugu COVID-19. NCOs restrict visit to correctional centers in Enugu. More of that story on page 10 of Daily Times.
Okay, and this one says Abacha loot. Federal government again says no third party agreement. Abacha loot. Federal government again says no third party agreement. More of these on page 2 on the Daily Times newspaper this morning.
And to the next headline, war against corruption, non-discriminatory, says AGF. War against corruption, non-discriminatory, says AGF. Came of that story on page 4 of Daily Times.
And the last one here on Daily Times says Army takes delivery of armaments from China. Army takes delivery of armaments from China. We got a call, so let's take it.
Hello, good morning.
Sorry, we lost
please,
that.
when you call,
Exactly.
said it countless times.
Countless
Try
times.
to turn down the volume for TV sets, or kindly walk away from a TV set so we can have a clear and nice conversation devoid of holdbacks and all of that. And let's travel to the Vanguard, a very short trip anyway. And National Assembly seeks fair distribution of palliatives. National Assembly seeks fair distribution of palliatives. There's a rather another story says 2 trillion naira SIP. Lawan Bajabiamila got it wrong, says presidency. That's the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And to the next headline there, it says, Rivers government declares coveting helicopters persona non grata.
Persona non
Persona
grata.
non grata, and of course, arrest of pilot in Rivers, exhibition of dangerous ignorance. That's coming from Sirica. More of that story on page 12 and 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, and this one says, panic at UBTH over blunders on tests. Panic at UBTH over blunders on tests. Riders under that says, as patient earlier declared negative turns positive and dies. And this one says, Obateki goes stuff, vows to deal with hoteliers, transporters. And Lagos record third death, 27 quarantined in Niger State. And Kaduna family flees as returnee allegedly presents symptoms.
Okay, to the next headline, the Chinese doctors are everywhere.
Everywhere
Yeah,
on
just
the
everywhere.
newspapers.
Chinese medics arrive, okay, they're just everywhere on
Everywhere,
dailies.
and you've seen the
And to the
picture of
next
them
one there,
already.
okay, we've got a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name
Morning.
and location, please?
We are calling from Asava. We are
Okay.
watching this live.
So what headline are you reacting to this morning?
Conservation TV.
What headline are you reacting to this morning?
We are really enjoying it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much.
for your contributions. And please, when next you call, please endeavor to turn down the volume of your TV set. And please, when you call, you need to contribute. It is a newspaper review. We appreciate that. Yes, you're watching, but when you call, you try as much as possible to comment or contribute to the stories that we've been reading out to you.
Okay, thank you for watching for Salvation TV.
And
I'll
keep
say kudos,
watching.
kudos, gracias.
Good job. Keep
Gracias. That's
watching. Some.
Spanish. It
It's
means,
okay.
it means
Oh, you're
thank you.
too extra.
Okay, yeah, let's take the next newspaper this morning, which is Daily Independent. The first one that says, Jukon Community has Q3 raised 200 houses in Benue. Two police, that's
Still
that's another
insecurity.
story. It says, two police officers declared missing. Suspected thief militants killed 6 persons in another Benue community. Clash in another Benue community claims 1. Police arrest 2. Okay. We got a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Egidion Williams. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome. What hell are you reacting to this morning?
Yeah, I'm reacting to the arrival of a Chinese doctor into Nigeria.
Go ahead.
Okay. Chinese doctors arriving in Nigeria. You see, we are talking about the vaccine produced by them, and we are talking about 5G network, and other countries are condemning them.
I'll have to apologies, please. I'll have to cut you there. How would you connect the 5G to the arrival of Chinese doctors? According to the federal government, the arrival of the Chinese doctors is to help train our personnel, our medical personnel. I don't know how you're connecting the arrival to the 5G network.
Okay, I'm starting to be corrected, but because of what is trending. Okay, for the issue of Chinese doctors coming to train our personnel, I think our personnel are actually doing well to try to see how we can contain this COVID-19. And from what I read then, I was told that the medical personnel in Nigeria were protesting against Chinese doctors coming into the country.
Okay.
And other doctors in other countries also protesting. Yeah.
What is your point exactly on this particular matter? Your point?
My point is that I am against Chinese doctors coming in because they are the one that manufactures this virus, whatever. So
Are you
let
Okay.
kidding me
Nigerians
right now?
handle it.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Thank you for
your
your contribution.
contribution.
Uh,
Okay. Thank
Rascal
you.
said they're
Thanks
the
for
one
calling.
manufacturing COVID-19.
It is what it is. I
But
said it
in
already.
relation to what he said, I can remember that was last month when the president of US, Mr. Donald Trump,
Trump called it Chinese virus, and
virus,
it
and
doesn't remain
Beijing
the
reacted
same.
to it angrily, and of course they played diplomacy with it at the end of the day. But we got a
Okay, we
caller.
got a
Let's take
call.
it.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Reginald Marcus, and I'm calling from Bayelsa.
Oh,
Okay.
welcome. How is Bielsa this morning?
Ah, quietly windy. We have cool weather here.
Okay.
So how
We're
is the
thanking
how is the
God.
lockdown? How is the lockdown in
Oh,
Bielsa
is
State?
there a lockdown in Bayelsa?
Really, Bayelsa has a little bit of people moving because we don't have anybody that is registered for now, apart from Delta State
Okay.
beside us and River State beside us. But we're still thanking God because Papa said something that it will not come down, so we are very safe.
And it won't.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so
Okay,
please,
so what headline are you
your
reacting to this
contribution.
morning?
Say,
What headline are you reacting to on the show this morning? Looking at the
the
papers.
issue of the Chinese people coming to Nigeria to assist or whatever. But you see, what I saw yesterday, even in England, in Spain, they have short materials and all that. So what are they? Are they coming with materials? Are we coming to just put our doctors through? I don't really get that.
Okay, according to reports, they came in with a mask and, of course, other medical equipment yesterday
Okay.
on their arrival. All right, according to reports, it was confirmed yesterday when the Minister for Health, Dr. Osage Enahare,
Nahiri.
when I received them yesterday. Of course, because
Okay.
of the show, you will display those pictures for you on
Yes.
the papers. They came in with, kits yesterday.
But majorly, they're here to train the medical practitioners here. So that's the major aim they're here.
All right. Thank you. I'm cleared on that.
All right.
We're
Thank you
still
for your
praying.
contribution.
Yes, thank you so much.
Keep watching Salvation TV.
God
God
bless you
bless
as
you
well.
too. Okay, so
Okay, let's take the next.
interesting,
Let's take the
interesting
next
caller, I must
headline.
say. Okay,
We are
with
set for evacuation of Nigerians in diaspora. That's coming from the federal government.
oh, interesting.
We
More
are
of that
set
on
for.
page 27 on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. And quickly, this one says fire at AGF's office didn't destroy any record.
Okay, we got a
Okay, we
caller.
got a
Hello.
call.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, we have to let you go,
We'll have to
please.
let you go, please.
Thank you.
We
When
said it
next?
countless times. When you
Exactly.
call,
I'm
do
even tired
well,
of saying
do
it.
well to turn down the volume for TV set so we can hear you clearly. All right.
Exactly.
There's no point getting to call us and wants
And
to
want
hear
to hear
yourself.
yourself.
Hmm.
Okay, this one says examination dates for 2020 BECE SSCE stands and says NECO. We
Okay,
got
we
a
got a
call.
caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Okay,
Are you there?
we have to let it go. Thank you.
Okay, you have to let that
Okay,
call go.
moving on
Let's
to
take.
the lead story on the Daily Independent paper. This one says federal government considers private hospitals in treatment for COVID-19 cases. Federal government considers private hospitals in treatment of COVID-19 cases. Okay, this is coming from Daily Independent newspaper, and more of that on page 14 on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning.
Okay, to the next story. Troops kill scores of Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists destroy hideouts in Boronu. Okay, we got a caller.
Hello.
Kenneth.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh,
Oh my
Kenneth.
goodness.
Okay, so
Is that my name?
quickly moving on to the next newspaper. I think it's the first of its kind, Blueprint newspaper. So take the first headline.
Okay, it says federal government slashes 2020 budget to 9 trillion naira. Federal government slashes 2020 budget to 9 trillion naira.
Okay,
And
we have
okay,
a
we got a
call.
caller.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Okay, sorry, we lost that. Please do
Network
well to
is
call back if you can.
fluctuating.
And yes, moving on to the next one, it says the lead story, I must say, as Chinese medical team arrives, community transmission of COVID-19 rising,
Okay, we got a
says
caller.
federal government.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good
Yes.
morning.
Please,
What's your
can you
name and
turn down the
location, please?
volume of your TV set? Okay, I'm sorry, we have to let you
I have to
go
let you go.
because we can't hear you. We can't hear anything. Okay.
Okay, and to the next headline there, as Chinese medical team arrives, community transmission of COVID-19 rising, says federal government. Okay. To
Okay, we
certify
have a call.
private. Okay, we got a call. Let's take this one. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello? Sorry, we lost that.
Lost that one.
Okay, so quickly moving on to the next headline that says COVID-19 core members produce, donate hand sanitizers and face masks. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good one. At least this is the typical example of serving your nation.
Exactly.
More of that on page 7 on the Blueprint newspaper this morning.
Now talking about what Chinese came into the country with, we have the okay. Let's take this call first. Hello. 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 Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, we lost that.
What's going on with the network? But before that call came in, I was talking about the consignment. The Chinese doctors came into the country with. Okay, we'll have the IT guys display that on the screen right now. They came in with some medical consignment from China. But before they do that, we got a caller. Let's also take this one.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
Name and
Good
location, please.
morning.
Yes, name and
My name
location.
is I'm Helen, and I'm calling from Abuja. I'm reacting on the Chinese doctors coming to Nigeria. I think there's nothing wrong in the Chinese doctors coming to Nigeria because we don't have all it takes to curb this disease. So if they have come to train our personnel, I do not see anything wrong in that. They come, I understand they come with their tools and every other thing that we need to fight this disease. So I see nothing wrong in them coming to assist or train our personnel. They are
Okay.
already in the country, so there's nothing anybody can do. So I think it's good that they come help us.
All right, thank you for your contribution.
Okay,
She
thank
gave
you
her
so
view,
much.
and she doesn't see anything wrong with that. Okay, so quickly moving on to the Punch newspaper, and we'll be fast about that. Says federal government slashes budget sent to National Assembly for review. More of that on page 25. Okay, and this one says
Okay,
fix
we got
refineries
a caller. We
before
got a
petrol
caller.
subsidy removal. Okay, we got a call.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Sorry, we lost that. We can take that call. Please, when next you call, try to make sure that the volume of your TV is low so we can hear you clearly. And this
Okay.
one says $320 million battery loot. Nigeria opposes U.S. Senators' move against return.
Okay, we got another
We
caller.
got a call.
Hello.
Okay, well, that's
Network.
that. And now you take the lead story on the Punch newspaper
I'll
this
take
morning.
it. I'll take it. 91 begin quarantine as more returnees take land borders. 91 begin quarantine as more returnees take land borders. The writer's another story. Immigration hands over 67 returnees to LASG. 24 arrived today. Private hospitals to get treatment license. 22 new cases recorded. Total hits 278. Okay.
Okay, and this one says Benwell man. Benwell man born Ekiti chief alive in bush. Oh, more of things on page 4. This is no good news at all. And this one says we've not postponed SSCE basic education exams. We've not postponed SSCE Basic Education Exam, says NACO. And more of these on page 11. And this one says 9 killed, 2 policemen missing in fresh Benue attacks. More
And
of these on page 19 on the Punch.
court remands Caviteens passengers. Pilot threatened to boycott Rivers. You can get more of that story on page 4 and 21 of the Punch newspaper this morning.
And this one says 7 to 8 violators sentenced to community service in Lagos. 7 to 8 violators sentenced to community service in Lagos. You can get more of these on page 4 and page 5 on the Punch newspaper.
And of course, to the last headline on the Punch newspaper this morning, Ondo APC alleges members planning defection to PDP. Ondo APC alleges members planning defection to PDP. Get more of that story on page 16 of the Punch.
Can we get a call?
Okay, and this will wrap it up on this show today. I still want to apologize to lots of persons that are sending WhatsApp messages, but
exactly,
we couldn't take those messages. Tomorrow, we'll roll out those messages for you, all right? It's been a fantastic time today.
It's been wonderful. The calls were amazing. Thank you all for your contributions, your views, and your comments. It was really worth it.
This will draw the curtain anyway. My name is Kenneth Okizi.
Thank God you didn't say much. And I am Amaka Okedu. Thank you for watching, and keep watching Salvation TV. Good morning.